Hello, good afternoon, professor and classmates. My name is Liseta Naide Leon Piñon, and today I'm going to talk about syllabus design principles according to what I read on chapter 3. Let's start. I'm going to start talking about selection and grading. Syllabus design usually starts with an organizing principle. It will be influenced by a curriculum, philosophy, and specifically beliefs about the nature of language. Having decided on the organizing principle, two basic decisions are implicated in the design of a syllabus. For example, we have two main questions, like what to put into it, in what order. These decisions are known respectively as selection and grading. Factors influencing the choice and order of items in a syllabus can be broken down into main groups, utility and learnability. That is, all things being equal, the item which is most useful for the learner is included in the syllabus, and the items that have relatively little usefulness are rejected. Let's talk about frequency. We have another key question, like what makes a syllabus item useful? An important factor is frequency. The more frequently the item occurs in real language use, the more useful its potential is. Frequency has been studied particularly with relation to the vocabulary. Now let's talk about two main terms like range and coverage. What about range? The fact that some language items are frequent only in certain contexts means that they have a limited range. Items with a wide range are found in a large number of different texts, both spoken and written. Thus, not only does frequency need to be considered when selecting items for a syllabus, but also range, especially in the case of a general English syllabus. Coverage. This refers to the number of uses an item has. For example, if choosing whether to include a pack of cards or a deck of cards in the vocabulary components of a syllabus, it will be more useful to include the former since pack can be used to refer to other things. What about needs and difficulty? Needs. The principle underlying the argument for including items of high frequency is that the more frequent an item, the more useful. In the absence of any other information about the learner's needs, frequency is probably the best indicator of usefulness. We have another term like difficulty. An item is difficult when it has a number of interdependent elements or it requires several operations to realize. In other words, it is difficult if it is structurally complex. What about learnability? The measure of the learnability of an item was traditionally equated with its complexity. The more simple, the more learnable. A behaviorist view of learning art as well, that the more similar an item is to its mother tongue equivalent, the more learnable. Some structural or lexical items are easier for students to learn than others. We have the last important term, like teachability. An item's teachability is to some extent dependent on the individual teacher, his or her resourcefulness, not to mention resources, and the context and method of instruction. If a teacher uses translation, many items will be more teachable than if translation were not encouraged or not possible. It is important to consider that teachability is not the same as learnability. An item may be easy to teach, but difficult to learn. Okay, to finish my presentation, this is my 8 top ranking items in terms of teachability, from the easiest, the number 1, to the most difficult item, the number 10. The number 1 item, the easiest item for me is this, that, this, those. The number 2, how much versus how many. Number 3, preposition of place, in, on, under, near, etc. In place number 4, adverbs of frequency, always, often, never. Number 5, prepositions of time, for, since, by, until. The number 6, to get used to doing something. The number 7, yet, already, still. And finally, the number 8, to versus very. And these are my references: Universidad IEXPRO, ND, curriculum and course design, principle and practice. And this is for today. Thank you for watching my presentation. I hope you like it. Take care. Goodbye.